Good morning, my dear students, and as promised, I'm recording a very special search engine optimization video. That's all going to be about on-page SEO, but it's something new that Google has added to its search. Some call it featured search, or some call it Google search snippet. All right, you can call it Google featured search, or you can call it Google search snippet. So whatsoever you like, right? I'll just show you a very brief sample regarding Google search snippet. For example, if I search for digital CPR, or if I search for anything like that, right? So let me see that digital PR. Now you see a different kind of a result right here. You may be surprised to see this, but yeah, it's basically a new feature that we need to understand as early as possible, because we can be first mover in this category of search. Basically what it does, it outranks each and everyone in the search, and it displays the result along with the images, right? And you can clearly see here that it's about featured snippet. Now it's Google search snippet, and it is you can give feedback. You can whether that snippet has been helpful, like Google is taking feedback regarding this snippet, right? So this is what our topic for today is going to be. So let's get started with Google search snippet. If you want your website to be listed just like this with image and everything, then you need to understand Google search snippet, right? And for that, all right, and for that you need to understand how the search snippet rankings really work, how to outrank everyone else in the search snippet, and what are the factors of ranking, and what is the exact code that I should write, and what is the exact content I should write, and what are the specific reasons for being listed up the order, right? As long as the research is concerned, you should always do research regarding this. You can click the website and read the content of the website. Why is this website being listed as a featured search by Google, right? What you can do, you can go to the website and read each and everything about this, because what it is doing, what is digital PR? It's basically answering your question, and that's what you need to understand. As I said, Google search means a Google query. What Google does to enhance, or what Google artificial intelligence bots, or the programs that are written to list the website, what it does is basically search for the answers, or maybe search for the relevant answers regarding the query. Some call it query, and some may call this as keyword, right? But at the end of the day, you're asking certain questions to Google and expect certain answers, and it is better that if Google provides a relevant answer. So that's why Google is looking for relevant answers, right? So nearly every Google search term now, right? I repeat, nearly every Google search term now has a Google search snippet, right? For example, if I say digital marketing, only digital marketing, right, it basically, again, you can clearly see here, it does not have a search snippet, but it has something like that only, right? So you can see this here. It does not have a search snippet, but now you can leverage this, right? There are many 80% results that are not listed by Google search snippet. Now I have done my research. I took around 10-12 days to do my research on this. I read quite many websites, and I found it to be very easy. There's nothing difficult, and there's nothing tougher to get listed by Google search snippet, right? And for that, you will have to basically understand, how do I take that number one spot? And now, what is the user looking for? Let's take a look. What's the user looking for? For example, how to tie, or maybe how to tie a tie. All right, and you are getting a result right here, and you can clearly see you're getting it's now a video. That means a featured snippet, right? A Google featured snippet can also be a video, right? And you can clearly see it can also be image, and it can be answers as well. So that's where you have to understand that Google search snippet can come from a video, a YouTube video, or it can come from let's say about a pure content that you write. You may be searching for anything, right? You can search for how to make money online, right? and you'll find a Google search snippet right here, right? Now let's take a look at the website and let's take a look at how Google converts the content to a snippet, right? It's again Google search snippet. As I said that everything has a Google search snippet nowadays, right? But you need to understand the content. First, let's go and read the content of this website, which is savethestudent.org, all right? And now 40 easy ways to make money online. Well, I'll go to the snippet and I'll search for no risk matched betting, right? So I'll search for any keyword right here. Right, so you can clearly see that if I right click and inspect the element, and you can clearly see it's a heading and it's basically having, that means H tag. I repeat, it's an H tag which has a P tag followed. Yani ki paragraph tag is following the H1 tag. So H1 is basically the title, and the title follows the description in a paragraph tag. Right, online service. It's all about the depth of the content, and you'll get to know each and everything as we progress with this class. So it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be as easy as anything, right? For example, and now let's see what more we can type. Best, let's say about best diet tablets, right? Right. So we can type these search, or maybe pills. Right, it has a Google search snippet as well, right? So I hope you have understood the Google search snippet, right? What you need to understand now, how do I get listed by Google in a Google search snippet, right? So that's what I want to, and how is my content being read by Google to get listed, right? So the results basically all depends on the ranking. So Google search snippet also has rankings, right? So there may be one or more snippets. At times you may find even there's this ranking for snippets. For example, if there's a ranking for websites, right? Amazon bestsellers, then we have medicalnewstoday.com, that we have what is this? It's Mayo Clinic, and then we have some other websites. So these are all rankings. This is listed 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, and each and everything has a search snippet, and search snippet is always going to come ahead, right? And then we are going to follow that with the normal search results. It's always better to be listed on page number 1, and it's more better to be listed on page number 1 and spot number 1, or we could say line number 1. So let's analyze what are the features, right, that are behind and that we should take care of, right, while writing content to get listed for Google search results. Number 1, so I'll write it down here, Google search snippet, no spelling mistakes. So Google search snippet essentials. What are the essentials for Google search snippets that you need to take care about, right? And number 1, remember, or we can say remember, right? Google search, or we can say Google featured search, GFS, also has rankings, right? Or it also has rankings, to be more precise right here, right? That it has rankings. And now how do you outrank everyone using your own content? So that's what. Now you need to understand how Google reads the queries, right? You need to understand that, right? For example, you can go ahead and search for many different things, but as I said, that your website should be readily providing answers to Google search terms. It should be ready to provide answers. Answers should be precise, and it should follow headings. So answers, number 1, Google, right, search for answers, and answers should.
These came back from a search.
Oh, my Google has started searching for something, right? Relevant, right? So technical, have an H1 tag, right, or have an tag h1, h2, h3, h4 followed by paragraph tag regarding the content. For example, if I have, for example, h1 right here, all right, we can let's say about the search term is what do you expect the search term to be, or the query to be, right? Let's say about best Bollywood movies are, or we can say the list of best Bollywood movies are, or we can say is, right? And then you can either have UL. It's also better that you have an UL followed with an LI tag. So that's again going to work, UL with the LI. So I'll show you this also. Okay, just a moment. So I'll say cut, paste. All right. Now, how do you write LI right here? So I'll go and say LI. All right. So we can say movie list 1, and we can have, or we can either have, I don't know why I hit tab. Just a moment. I always do wrong things. Alright, so it can be UL and LI with the list of movies. So you can say movie list 2, right? Or it can either be or an OL, or it can be an OL, which is ordered list. It can be an unordered list, or it can be an ordered list, but it has to have an heading. And let's assume that what is Google looking for, what the search term is. So the search term that you are expecting is that you got to take every search term as in question, right? That is basically the funda for this. You got to take everything as a question and try and provide answers, more relevant answers, to enforce Google search snippet to list you. So search term can be, right, what are the, or we can say what are best Bollywood movies. So this is the search term. And now what your website is doing, the Google artificial intelligence completely understands that your website is providing the relevant answer. So he's searching for the queries best Bollywood movies, or what are best Bollywood movies, or it can either be best Bollywood movies, but it's going to be taken as a question. Google has got to take this as a question, and because your website is already indexed by Google Search Console, so you provide the relevant answer. What are the best Bollywood movies? The list of best Bollywood movies are, or we can say the list of best Bollywood movies is as follows. So now the moment the artificial intelligence program of Google finds this heading, it's going to display the relevant content along with the URL of the website. So it can be just like this, followed by an image. You can clearly follow it by an image. That's more better. IMGSRC is equivalent to, so you can find image URL, right? So this is the image URL, and then you're going to write your content. So that's the point number 1. Or point number 2, it can be this. All right. So point number 2 can be this. The list of best Bollywood movies is as follows. All right. So this can also be there. Yeah, sure. All right. So this is an H1 tag. Let's give me a bit of more. Let's give it a bit of more space, more breathing space to just. All right. So we have a more space, so wherein we can fit this content. All right. So this is about best Bollywood movies that follows. Then you use an image. And then instead of UL or OL, you can write a paragraph right here. And inside paragraph, you can write content and the list of movies, right? And now you can extend the content as much as you can, but it's always better to divide it, right? You write the content Bollywood, you can write about Bollywood, just a bit about Bollywood, and then you can write about Bollywood movies, and then you can feature or you can add some Bollywood movies in the same paragraph text, just like this movie number 1 and then movie number 2 and then movie number 3. So this is how you can add content and force, or we can rather say enforce, Google search engine to list your website and this particular answer that you're providing for a particular question, which is the name of or maybe the list of best Bollywood movies, right? So for sure you're going to be listed, right? All queries are to be considered as questions. So now, important point, SEO, heart of SEO. So this is heart of an SEO. All right, number 1, consider all questions, right? Or we can say all queries, right, are to be considered as questions, right? So this is the heart, all, right? And Google AI program, right, will feature your answer if it is relevant, and we can say divided, or we can say relevant. So relevant means that just like the ULLI example or the other examples I've already shown, right? So now what you need to do as or we can say as an SEO expert is the following, right? So number 1, right, so transform every query into a question, right? So you need to transform each and every query into a question, right? So some examples of the same are going to be, so we can say example. Now, how do you transform every query, right, as a or into a question? So how do you do that? It's basically very easy to say or then to do. How do you transform it, right? So I'm going to show you ample amount of examples. I'm going to show you great amount of examples so that you understand, right, that the reason behind, or how do you convert it, right? So first example I've already shown you, movies, right? Another example is going to be, for example, search term is going to be, for example, Amazon Prime review. All right, so this is what your search term is going to be, right? Or what is the verdict of Amazon review? All right, so this is going to be the search term. Now you need to understand what are they really asking for, right? So this is the search term, and this is what asking for. So this is what are they, this is a search term, right? The search term is Amazon Prime review, and what are they actually asking for is what is the verdict of Amazon Prime review. So now how do you take this as how do you think this query as, and prepare your content to answer this particular query. You need to understand this, right? So now you need to answer it. The verdict, your website should answer it like this. Verdict of Amazon Prime review is as follows. Right, and this has to be, as I said, this has to be an hashtag, right, and after having this hashtag you should have a paragraph tag to answer, right, and you can write about Amazon. First one you need to do is write about Amazon Prime reviews, and then follow it up with the actual content, which is actually going to be the review. You can keep it in URLs, or you can keep it just like I said, to keep it. Add an image after. Image should be directly after the H1 tag, right? And important, right? Important is try, or we can say Google reads the featured, or we read the content, right, anywhere in a, or anywhere inside a web page, but it is always, it's always recommended to keep the content right ahead, right, if you want to be listed. Now it's always recommended. It's going to be if you keep your content ahead of the content, or the keywords ahead of the content that you want to be answering, or the answers that you know that the people are asking via Google. Right, the more up you put the content, or the more ahead you put the content, the more beneficial it is. Even if it's mentioned anywhere in the website, Google is still going to take it and feature it. But recommended, I recommend you take it on top of all the content, or the content you want to list, right? So it should be on top of. Now let me show you another example, right? So we can say digital marketing ideas for let's say about colleagues. All right, so now what is this? This is actual, all right, we call this as original query. And how do you expect to answer this query, right? What are basically, or we can say, what are they really asking for? What are they asking for? So they are really asking for what are the best, or what are the marketing ideas for college, right? So they did not add what, right? They typed marketing, digital marketing idea for college, but what are they really asking for? What are the marketing ideas? So this is how Google takes the query. What are they are looking for? Google artificial intelligence program knows that the query is in quest for the ideas, right, for their college to do digital marketing for and branding for their own college, or to say they want to attract students, right? And now Google takes this query as what are the marketing ideas for college, and what you got to do, the marketing ideas, first marketing ideas for the college are, right, and you have to start from here. Marketing ideas for college are, right, content. It's not always going to be the title of the website. It's not only going to be the meta tag formation of the website, but the actual content. We were not talking of SEO on page, SEO, which is the general SEO that we already know and we already discussed and learned. This particular session today is only regarding Google featured search snippet. all right? Everyone wants to be there nowadays, right? Okay, let's say I keep on saying that you need to transform every question into a query. Now, how do you transform every question into a query is what your question is. Let's again see the original query. So I'll say 1, 2. Let me show you some other original queries. And let's say about McDonald's. Let me search it. McDonald's discount coupons. Okay, let's take this keyword. What are they searching for? McDonald's discount coupon, right? So what is the actual search like? The actual search is going to be what, or we can say what is the coupon what is McDonald's discount coupon, or where do I find McDonald's discount coupon? So this can either be this, the query can either be this and that, right? And you can start to get the McDonald's discount coupon, do the following is going to be your content. That means your content is not going to start back with the question. Don't write question, write direct answers. There are some SEO experts that I have taught. There are some SEO students that I have taught, but what they do, they don't start with answers. They write digital marketing ideas for college. And then they go ahead and write. So now you need to understand that you cannot retype the question, what are the digital marketing ideas for college, and then write are as follows. No, you just start with the answer directly, right? Ideas for digital marketing ideas for college are. You start directly, you don't have to type the question again. So the more direct you be, the more relevant search it is, and the more chances you have to get listed. And it's very easy, believe me. I tried many things, and I've seen that being listed as a Google featured search, right? Or being listed in the Google featured search snippet within 24 hours is also possible. Within 24 hours, right? It's not that difficult. Okay. Let's carry on with this. Now, if I tell you Google, it's basically what Google is doing. It's searching for specific patterns to determine the answer, right? So Google always search for specific patterns to determine the answer. So now what are those, right? Basically specific pattern, right? So this is what is going to open your eyes, and then you're going to understand how to be listed using a Google search snippet. So if I say, or if I write down here 10 plus 2 is equivalent to 12. So what is this? This is an answer, right? 10 plus 2 is equivalent to 12. So this is just an answer, right? So what is the question? So this is question. From LHS we are having question, and from right hand side we are having an answer. Answer is 12, which is from right hand side, and question is 10 plus 2, which is from. So now let's consider this 10 plus 2 to be the Google search, or let me just have a different color here, to be the Google search query, and this to be the answer, right? So I'll say that this here is question, right, which is Q, and this here is an answer, which is 12, and A is an answer, and this basically question and answer, right, makes something that's known as SNIPPET, snippet. Right, so this is how Google Snippet is formed. Question plus answer makes a snippet. These answer patterns can be anywhere on your page. I repeat, the answer patterns can be anywhere on your page. For example, if your page starts with the content on line number 1 and then he goes to line number 1, then you go to line number 2. So this is the start of your web page and consider this to be the end of your web page. So these answer snippets can be anywhere, or the Google or the patterns of Google, or we can say the answer patterns of the answer patterns can be anywhere on your page, but it's always recommended that it's on top. You start the page with answer patterns. Okay, but it's not basically necessary, recommended but not necessary. The pattern Google understands and even factors for such snippets, right? Now what are the patterns that Google understands? That's my basic question. What are the patterns? What are the patterns that Google understands, right? So now I'm asking Google to provide pattern or to tell me the patterns, or you want to know the patterns that Google understands. So I'll just write it down here. The paragraphs that Google understands, paragraphs, or the patterns that Google understands is paragraphs, which is P tags. I repeat, paragraph is P tags. Oh, what is O? Paragraphs. Tables. Tables is also understood. Ordered lists. So this is the pattern. Okay, this is the pattern that Google understands. What is table? Table tag with TDTR. Ordered list is OLLI. Alright, so these are the patterns that Google understands, right? The pattern that Google understands, and we also have here. Alright, so we also have here unordered lists. Right, so these are the patterns that Google understands. All right, a few more patterns. And we have paragraph hierarchy. Right, so paragraph hierarchy. Now what is the paragraph hierarchy? I'll just give you a glimpse of paragraph hierarchy. It's also understood by Google, and you have high chances, almost each and every chance, to be listed as a featured search result. Okay, we have a headline. We have a headline right here in the paragraph hierarchy. Right, so let's understand paragraph hierarchy. First, we have a headline. We have a headline, and right, a paragraph, right, which is P again, and this is H tag. It can be any H1, H2, then immediately followed with a paragraph, and then again the hierarchy of the same, right? So for example, okay, so it's not difficult to understand this hierarchy. So for example, this is the headline and this is the paragraph. This is the headline and this is the paragraph. What do you mean by headline? Right, so for example, best digital marketing institution, or we can say list of Bollywood movies are, right, the best Bollywood movies forever, or maybe we can say of all time, the best Bollywood movies of all time, and then you followed with the paragraph hierarchy, right? The content, right, about movie name can be the heading, and about the movie can be the paragraph description, and then again another movie name 1, and then you can have movie name 2, and then we can write ABOUT about the movie, right? So this is how Google is going to understand. This is how Google bot is going to, or this is how Google bot will read the content. Again is the query from your website, right? And now table template. What is the table template? So I'm going to show you the exact table template. Right. So let me open the notepad. So we have we had some website. Just keep it here. I kept it here. I didn't delete it. HTML website. Yeah. We have this, so we can go ahead and make. Or let me go to this index page. Open this page with notepad. All right. We already have meta tags formed right here, so I don't need it. Okay, so because we want to directly go to, okay, let me show you some other page. DM website is already here, so I'll go and open index, open with notepad, and I'm also going to open it. So this is what we designed the last time. Alright, so this is how now Google is going to understand the query. So I will just delete this form right here, is not required. So I'll go inside the content, do the first example of table template. So I'll just keep it here. So it's going to be a table template, and I'll just mention it, right? So H2, so you can go with H2. Right, and now expecting that you're giving answer to something that Google has asked, right? The answer of keyword chart, right? So this is the answer heading, and underneath the answer, what are you going to do is create a table and close a table. So this is the table hierarchy. All right, and then we are going to have TD, right, and we are going to have TD right here, or maybe TR, and then we are going to have the TD and table division right here. You can give cell padding is equal to 5 and cell spacing is equal to 5. So now regarding the content, so I can search it. So best Samsung so controller. So I can say best Samsung controller or best Samsung controllers, right? We're not getting any snippet right here. We're not getting. Okay, let me see, because we want to be listed. We're not finding any relevant keyword here to know the actual. Say best Samsung GA. Here maybe VR controls. Yeah. No. Let's say VR controllers chart maybe. Alright, we are getting this chart right here. Now it is a featured snippet. Now you can clearly see. Alright. So this is a featured snippet. Alright. And now let's see how Google reads it. Now how do you write the same content? So best Samsung Gear VR controller chart is going to be your headline. So I'll just take it as your headline. Alright, so let me see the website. Alright, so this is here, best Samsung Gear VR controllers chart, and now the content. Alright, so number 1, name, description and link. So I'll just write name and then I can make, or we can make a heading, because we need to make a heading, or we need to make a table header, right? So that we write description, each and everything right there. All right, so let me write it down. All right. Okay, let me make a table head. So this is how we make a table head, and close table head. Right, so this is how we make a table head. Okay, we have a table head, and inside a table head I'm defining tr, and I'm defining tr. Imagine you are defining a header. We're not writing content, we're just defining a table header right here. And we can write th. Now what are the heading options here? Table heading 1 is going to be name, right, and we can write down here th. Table heading 2 is going to be description. What was the third one? Link. Okay, so I'll give it with LINK, link. All right. Name, description, and link. This is how it is going to read. So let's go to the website and see how actually the content is written. So number 1, 2, 3 is okay. Let me go ahead and write the body of the content. Now to define the body, you need to go out from that table head and define tbody. So now this is going to be the table body, so I can say tbody, which is nothing but the table body. All right, so now I'm going to define a tr right here, and a tr is going to get closed. So this is how you close a table row. And now inside a table row I can have as many table divisions as I want. So I'll go with 1, or I'll go with another header here, maybe serial number. So I'll say th and th. So I'll say sr number, which is nothing but the serial number. So let's see. All right. Okay. Let me go ahead. Serial number 1. Now you go and write your names and description. This is how your content is going to be now formed, right? Okay. So stainless something is going to be my table division. So another table division. I can copy paste and write the content. That's it. All right. So this is going to be the content. And this is going to be the description. Another table division. Alright, and I'll write the content. Okay, let's keep it in between. Alright, so this is how you can write the content. So this is td, close, so description, and the link, get latest price. So another td closes, and you can write everything, get latest price. So this is how you can form content. Right, now you can clearly see this is how you can form the content. This is right best Samsung Gear VR controls. And now the search query that you're supposed to answer is what are, or user may type the same thing, right? Samsung Gear VR controllers, or what are the best Samsung Gear VR controllers, right? And now what you're doing, you're providing him a chart. These are the best Samsung VR Gear controllers, right? This is how you can form a query to get listed by the Google search snippet, right? And another is going to be, instead of table, right, you can have ULLIs. Third, instead of TRL TDs, or instead of the table, you can have OL and LI, which is ordered list. This is how you can do, right? It's very easy if you want to rank for a how to query. All right, so let me show you. All right, so if you want to get ranked for a how to query, if you want to get ranked for a how to query, all right, how do you do that? All right, if you want to get listed for a how to query, for example, how to tie a tie, all right, you can use the same format as shown above, all right. So you can use ULLIs and answer, right? How to query, you can answer questions, right? So now ideal image, so it's very important. So I'll say important, you can add movie image along with the content, right? And those images will also get displayed in the Google search snippet, right? So this is what you can do, and you have to add them. I will show you again the example of adding image. I've already shown you, I suppose, but if you want me to show you again, I'll show you again. Don't worry for that. I am disconnected. I need to connect back, and I am connected now. Okay, for example, if I write digital I'll write digital PR, and I get a Google search snippet result, right? And that too with image. These are the images, right? So if you want to get, now there are high chances, not only high chances, 80% chances that someone who is searching for you finding a digital snippet or Google search snippet, right? He's going to visit your website. He's going to click it because this is the first thing that it has come, and it's not being provided by any digital advertiser or any advertising agency. This thing has come as an answer for their queries, right? And if you check the stats, 80% customers actually buy from you, right? Because they think that the answer has come as a query, or answer has come, right, again is the query that they have typed, not automatically, right, or not like an advertisement or anything like that. And this is going to be the next big thing in digital PR. Well, what is digital PR? I'm typing it again and again and again. What is digital PR, right? It's online marketing strategy used by businesses to increase their online presence, right? It's just backlinking, going to influencer marketing, writing blogs, writing high quality backlinking, having the mentions in social media, and each and everything that we have learned over the time, or maybe in past 8 to 10 classes, is what basically digital PR is. It's more doing doing offline, or we can say off-site SEO rather than an on-site SEO. That's not what our topic is. Our topic is Google search snippet, and this is the best thing. I just done my research, and it's very easy. Let me tell you, you can get listed in Google search snippet within days, maybe within a week, and at times within 24 hours, right? If you work very hard and if you read, because it depends on the amount of research you yourself are doing. For example, if your competitor is being listed up the order, you'll have to do your research and find loopholes in the content, right? Maybe provide some extra backlinkings, provide some extra relevant answers, extra relevant content, right? And do the things that I say, and one of the following, and one of the major things is ideal image size according to Google. What is an ideal image size when you add to basically as a Google search snippet? It has to be an aspect ratio of 3:4. Right? It has to be an aspect ratio where 3 and 4, aspect ratio of 3:4, any image size can work, right? And image has to be right for logos. Google prefer using right, and for logos, if your image is as a logo, Google prefers using PNG or SVG file, right? Your logo should never be JPEG. It should, even JPEG, I've seen tons and tons of JPEG being displayed. Even if JPEG is there, it's still basically good, but Google recommends you having PNG or an SVG file for but because they are lighter than JPEG, so they are displayed more fast, right? So that's why it's recommended, right? Okay. Okay, for example, I'll again provide you answer headline. Example, ANSWER headline. Example, all right? So the question or the query, the question is best, let's say about best smartphone of 2020, and how do you expect to answer this one? So the answer can be answer starting with the heading. You know that the list, you have to mention the list, so list can be anything. So answer can be for example, if it's an H2 headline, the best smartphones of 2020 are. So you can close down the H2 tag, and another answer that you could type is this, basically. Sorry. All right, the next answer that you can provide is list of the best smartphones of 2020, right? And another thing that you can provide an answer for can be, here are the best smartphones of 2020, right? The best smartphones of 2020 include, and then this is the heading, and include, then you can write ULLI 1 2 3 4 5, and then write description in each and everything, right? And inshallah you are going to be listed, right? For example, if I say another question, right? For example, if I say any answer, so each and every Google search query has to be taken as a question, and then you have to provide relevant answers, right? Google answer has a relevant score, right? So I'll write it down here, right? So I write it about relevance score. Okay, So Google also has a relevance. So Google answer also has a relevance score. So how do you tackle with that? Right. So number one, the quantity of facts that you provide in the answer will certainly quantify also the chances being listed in the Google search snippet. Okay, the quantity triggered. What are the triggered words? All right, so they are going to be related, empty, and we can have right. So the natural, and if your natural organic ratings are already high, all right, your natural organic ratings, if they are already high, then you're having high chances of getting featured. For example, if your natural we can say SEO organic ratings are high, it's not going to take much time, all right? You can go to the Google Search Console and you can manually scan the URL. You can go to Google Webmasters, right? So you can go to google.com/webmasters search console. Immediately go to the search console, all right? If you have edited, if you're having an existing page and you have edited the content, because now you're already listed up the order, you want to be listed by the Google search snippet search also, right? So what you can do these changes that we have already talked of, and then go to Google Search Console and say URL inspection. Manually type the URL right here and search. It's what Google is going to do, crawl the URL again, right, and restore the content, and basically re-index the content, right? After doing this, you'll inshallah see within 24 to 48 hours, as minimum as 24 to 48 hours, you will see a Google search snippet being already prepared, or Google search snippet ready for giving answers to the queries from your website, inshallah, right? So this is forcing Google to do the re-indexing of this web page that I want to get listed, right? Using the Google search snippet, right? And this is how it actually works. Okay, some more points, some more relevant points. So let's discuss some more. Okay, the quantity of facts. Google looks for the answers with the most facts, right? It understands statements such as for example, Google looks for the answer with most facts. So it's going to understand statements like number one. So it's going to look for facts, and among facts is going to understand statements like the CEO of Microsoft is Bill Gates, right? So it's a fact, right? So you can provide these facts in your answers, right? Or side effects of aspirin are something more relevant, right? Which is authentic, right? So Google looks for queries or answers like these with more facts, with more relevance, right? Okay, let me give you a few more examples. Okay, if you want to get instant search snippet, so let me just go ahead and type it. Instant search snippet rankings. If you want to get instant rankings, you should do the following. Number one, go to Google. Go to Google Webmaster Tools. Number two, click. Okay, number two is going to be click crawl. Such as Google, right? Or the way that I've already shown you. Crawl is not there now, right? You can even specify a single URL that you want to search, just like this. Okay. This is here URL inspection. Alright, so there's no crawl now. You can go to URL inspection and your URL is going to be recrawled. Alright, so inspect and edit/edited content off, right? And now, what do you do if you are being outranked? Add more triggered keywords, answer the questions in a more clear way than your competitor, add relevant images, good images, beautiful images, right? And high quality links if you could, right? So this is very easy, but this is something that is coming. Not all the competitors are having. Those who are having competitors with high organic rankings and high organic results can use and leverage this technology or the way that I have shown you. They can basically prepare the content of a web page and form the content of a web page in an order that I've already shown you, right? Provide relevant answers and have a deep hierarchy of a website in order to get listed. And this is something that you can do overnight and see the results maybe in next 24 hours, right? I wish you all the best. I just took this topic because we had internet blockade and I was not able to take classes of Google Ads. So we will continue with Google Ads from tomorrow, right? Inshallah. Right, our internet is restored, our fiber was cut, and I just restored it today, and that's why I'm able to upload it. I tried uploading the recorded video yesterday also, I could not because of the poor internet speed. But yeah, all is well that ends well. Right, we'll continue with Google Ads tomorrow, inshallah. And this piece of video today and this piece of information regarding SEO today is going to be a backbone of your career in search engine optimization building, because this is something that's very new, that's latest, just added by Google, and there are hardly 10 to 20% of people who are really marketers and who really know this. Alright, and there are organic, there are websites which are sitting on top on a high rank from years and years, and this is the easiest way to outrank them in couple of hours, in couple of days, or maybe couple of weeks. Right, so do practice that and do your research right. Do what others are doing to get listed up the order. Right, and it's not only Google search snippet does not only, or Google search does not only depend on the relevance of the content, the quantity of the content, the quality of the content. It also depends on the freshness of the content. It also gives fresh results, because you have to keep on updating your results every now and again. The moment Google finds the fresh result, because Google wants to display fresh result to subscribers or maybe someone who is searching, or Google users, right? So do practice it and do research. Research is something that's going to make you a very good search engine optimization expert, or maybe a very good Google expert. Until then, I wish you all the best. Do practice very hard. I'll be sharing the image and video in maybe quickly. Bye-bye. Take care.